So I've got the battery that I'm going to replace on the Grumpy's Vega, and I've also got the starter. So this is also from Josh. So I just got that painted in aluminum color. But I also picked up some other bits and pieces. So I just wanted to take a look at those. So I've got the decals for the battery. Dude, come on. This isn't going to work tonight. Yeah, I know. So anyway, where were we? So I got the batteries. So I got batteries from Josh. I got the starter, as I mentioned. So I still have some starters left, a couple more. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And also, I'm going to be using one of the distributors, one of the drill distributors. So I got those in. Well, I went a little bit crazier when I was doing this order. So I also picked up gauge pod sets, both 1/24 and 1/25. So there's 4 of them for each, 2 bigs and 2 littles. And I think, well, for example, those of you who did the USAC group build, you know, you've got the gauge for the dart that was kind of supposed to glue to the top of the steering column. And there's other models where these things are just going to come in really, really handy. So I grabbed a set of, again, the 1/24 and also the 1/25. Oil filters is another thing that are kind of iffy in a lot of the kits these days. So I grabbed a couple packets of them, and they come with all sorts of different decals as well. So I got plenty of oil filters now. Again, different sizes. And I'll probably even share those with my wife because, you know, that's the kind of guy that I am. And then last but not least, from our package from Josh, from this package from Josh, I've got some ignition coils. So I haven't decided when I'm going to start using these. These may even end up on the Grumpy's Vega, but I kind of doubt it. So that's my little selection that I got in from Josh. I also have from a previous order. So there's my batteries. And this is going to be used, I think, for the Pro Stock build that's going on. And that's this rear end, which I have a plan for this thing. So this is the 4-link. It's got the Ford 9-inch, but my plan with this, I'm not going to take stuff out of the bag, but this guy I think would look really awesome in the back of one of those 50s Ford pickups, you know, whether it's the Foose or one of the other ones. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. So that was the other, the previous purchase that I made from Josh. So I'm really liking his stuff. You know, I'm just trying to get out of my comfort zone, and so all of these little bits and pieces are certainly going to help me do that. So give me just a second. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way, and then we'll talk part 2 of our Friday night. All right, so we're back. So next up, I mentioned this in previous videos. I've shown a couple sets of decals, but I really, I've been collecting aftermarket decals for my F1 cars and my motorcycles, and I'm actually going to do a video of the whole collection, I guess you would say. So placed another order with my good friends over at Spot Model. I know I'm a good friend when they always write, thank you for your order, and this time they wrote, thank you for your latest order. So yeah, they like me. So very cool little separator that came with the box, and their sample page was very appropriate for me. Got the JPS. Anyway, so I got that. So that was a nice little inclusion, and of course, you always get the sticker. Also very nice. So what we got, and I don't want to slice these and open them up, but I do want to talk about these. So first off, for the 112 Ferrari 312T, I got this set from Shunko. And if we flip it over, you can see we don't really need to open it up. So you get a few options here. So 1975 Monaco, 1975 Sweden, 1975 Italy, or you can go with the 1976 USA West. Car number 1, car number 2. So this is going to be really, really fun to use because the 312T that I've got, the 112th, is definitely an older kit. So certainly going to need new decals. I have a pair of the 312 T3s, and these are the 1/20th scale. So these popped up, so I got a pair of the decals, the sets of decals. So you got 78 Britain, 78 Canada, or 79 Brazil. So Carlos Reutemann for Britain, Gilles Villeneuve for Canada, and Jody Scheckter for Brazil. I'm certainly going to build one of these as the Gilles Villeneuve car. So I'm not sure the other one is going to be. It might be a Jody Scheckter car just because I also have Jody Scheckter Tyrells, the P34s. So it'd be nice to have a little bit of a collection for Jody Scheckter. So we shall see. Next up, on the subject of carbon fiber in my previous video, I got an email from them saying, based on your previous history, and it's the Williams FW13B, but this is the carbon decals. So I already have the other decals, the livery. So this is going to be really, really handy for when I get into the Williams. And again, like the previous ones are all Shunko. These are Studio 27, but they give you a very nice detailed layout sheet, for the side pontoon and for the front. Just very, very nice instruction sheet on how to lay these things out. Now, carbon fiber in my previous video. So I showed the spoons previously, and I was talking about the Jordan 191, and that's my build for the Formula One group build that Kyle and I are running. And my plan is to do the Jordan car in the rollout livery. When it didn't have any real sponsorship on it, it was just carbon fiber with a couple of Jordan logos on it. Well, when I ordered this FW13B carbon set, this popped up. So, folks, I did not realize that they made the 1/20th Jordan 191 carbon decal sheet. Now, Kyle had mentioned that a friend of his was building this car and was doing a carbon fiber wrap. The impression that I got was that that person had bought, a couple of sheets of the carbon decals and was shaping them themselves. But this is, the individual carbon decals for this car. So I was really, really stoked when I saw this. I know I'm missing out on my plan to do the carbon on the, that I did on the spoon. I'm still going to be doing that, but I think this is definitely the way forward for this Formula One group build. And then, of course, further down the rabbit hole, when I put that into my cart, these popped up. So it's a 3D printed brake set for the Jordan 191. I'm not familiar with this company, Stone Models, but I think this will just be a really nice addition again to this Formula One group build. I did peek at these through the bag, but figured I'd open them up here and take a look at all the bits and pieces that we have. So here's our wheels. You've got the actual spindles sticking up. There's the basically the axles. So these would go through, and of course with these Tamiya kits you get the the little bolts, or sorry, the screws. So this is going to replace those parts. Really nice brakes. And then we also have the discs. So I think this is all really going to make this thing shine. So definitely looking forward to getting started on that kit. I got to make a little progress on some of my other group builds, and then I'm going to dive into this for sure. Once again, the folks at Spot Model are awesome. Can't say enough about them. I just, they have a great selection of decals. And like I said, I've got a lot more. I've got a whole binder. And I do want to do a video talking about them, because I just think they really, help bring these, especially the older Tamiya kits, it helps bring them back to life. Because, those decals, I mean, some of these kits are, 50 years old. And so really looking forward to getting into the Jordan, the 191, and doing that media launch livery. So anyway, folks, that's it. I'm babbling now, so I'm going to stop. Thank you so much for watching. Again, make sure you head over to VCG Resins by Reese. I'll put a link to his website in the description. And of course, our friends over at Spot Model. All right. Hope you all have a great weekend. Get a lot of bench time in. Get some building done. And we will catch you over the weekend when we talk about some of the other stuff we got going on. So this is Tim from Box Stock Garage, and Key, who's running around here. And we will talk to you later.